Good morning, Las Vegas. All of my sports bettors around the world. It's Sunday. Waking you up early in the morning. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live here on KSHP, AM 1400, 107.1 FM. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Going to be bringing you some college football previews. That's right, bringing you the grease and the picks that you can start making early. College football right around the corner. You can watch these games on our partners and friends over at Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/JB, getting that 15% off. Got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, on the line with me this morning. Ron, how are you?
Good morning, Tim. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. So glad to have you in. We're going to be talking about this college football today, breaking down Heisman Trophy candidates, another value play. Again, you know, JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express, VSX Digital Sports Network, always looking on the sports betting line to find you ways to put that cash in your pocket. Every single candidate in the plus, starting at plus 600, going all the way down to plus 10,000. And then we're going to give you some playoff picks for the college football playoffs this season and break down the value for each of the teams that we see here on the line from many of the conferences that we think can get you there. Ron, good morning to you again. Thank you so much. I know you're going to be breaking down some stuff from USC. Let's give you a quick shout out, and then we'll take this short commercial break and jump into the grease. Thank you guys so much for waking up early with us this morning and tuning in. Ron, go ahead.
Mr. Hamilton, Linwood Hamilton, going to talk about his GoFundMe account. Get that documentary going. Everybody get a chance. Check him out on YouTube. You'll get that interest piece. I guarantee you'll see some good stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. Linwood Hart, Rock Hamilton, Defender of the Youth, NC State alumni, also played at Southern University. We're going to be bringing him on in the next couple of weeks to break down these defensive plays and picks on VSX, giving you the prop bets this morning to get you paid. And then on the half hour, got my main man, Scotty, beam him up, Webb from the East Coast Sports Investors and MLBDaily.com to give you baseball picks this Sunday. Big Sunday for us here. Might be a little dry in the summer, but we are making it rain over here at Vegas Scoreboard Express. You guys want to stay tuned? Check out my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Check out the station website, KSHP.com. And, of course, follow us on all of your podcast apps and radio listening devices. So you guys stay tuned. Keep it locked here. JB the Ticket. When I get back, we're jumping into it. Grab your pen and pad. Get that bankroll ready. It's time to get some money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. That's the truth. JB the Ticket.
This is it.
The cocaine and the crack.
They all sound the same to me. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. Vegas Scoreboard with Brainful. That's how I'm living.
That's how we do it.
That's just the way it is.
That's
the reason why I came to you. Drink and women and money.
Waking you up early in the morning, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live, 107.1 FM, every Saturday and Sunday this summer. Going into the fall, going to be taking you throughout your weekend, Thursday through Mondays. You guys be sure to tune in. Keep it locked with us. Got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, back on the line with me. About to jump into this Heisman prop bet session. Again, you guys can get these prop bets over at our partners at BetUS.com. In legal jurisdictions, be sure to use our offer code VSX125. So the very first person that we're going to be talking about this morning for the Heisman Trophy candidacy, how it can put some cash in your pocket, is Caleb Williams, USC. Also, KSHP is the title station here in Las Vegas for USC football, so you guys are definitely going to want to lock it in at 107.1 and 1400 AM. Got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, on the line with me. You are a USC football expert. Talk to me a little bit about what you think can happen. Again, on the rotation number 901, Caleb Williams, quarterback for USC, plus 600 on the money line. Talk to me, Ron. Do you think this guy can pull some cash down for you? Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. He just did it last year. They've loaded the cupboard pretty good for him again this year with some nice transfers in, some receivers. Brought a kid named Dorian Singer in from Arizona, who was a really, really good receiver in the Pac-12 last year. Mm-hmm. And he kind of just, nobody mentions him. So they've still got Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son up there. They've got some talent there. He's got some weapons to throw to. It's USC set for a nice run. Now, whether they can pull it off, it's going to be the defense, Alex Grinch, what he can do with that. But they are set. He is set for a Heisman run. Absolutely. He's got to be the favorite right now.
At plus 600, talking about a favorite that can put cash in your pocket. Again, check these bets out over at betus.com in a legal jurisdiction. Again, if you need some help, be sure to get it. Rotation number 901, Caleb Williams at plus 600. Now, the reason why I'm going to talk about this one is because since he won it last year, very rarely do we get back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners in college football. So that seems to be an odds-making bet against Caleb Williams. But again, you're talking about that powerful team that they're putting together at USC. On a side note, with the changes coming to that conference, do you think that USC has to play a lot better to show the Big Ten that they can compete with that talent? And with that being said, Caleb Williams having to step up to be possibly top 5 pick in the NFL draft coming up this year if he decides to come out. For him to get you that plus 600, I think USC has to have at least a 10, 11 win season. But go ahead, your thoughts.
Absolutely agree with you 100%. I mean, they're moving to the Big Ten, and now they're, excuse the term, the Pac-12, they always had a few easy weeks. Cal every once in a while, teams that are down. You ain't going to have that in the Big Ten no more. I mean, the teams you're going to be playing against that are down are like Penn State because they're behind Ohio State and Michigan. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a lot more talented teams in the Big Ten than there is in the Pac-12. The football level is better. I mean, it's no disrespect to the Pac-12. The Big Ten is a major conference. You got some big boys in there, and they smack you around. And SC is going to have to adjust that game a little bit. This isn't going to be like going to Arizona State on a Saturday night.
Right.
Instead they're going to Penn State. They get to see the whiteout. They're going to go into a snow game.
I'm telling you. So
it's going to be a different story. But yeah, Caleb Williams is definitely prime. It's too bad they won't have him for the Big Ten, unfortunately.
Right.
That's sad about the whole thing. I'd like to see him go against Michigan, Ohio State, but yeah, he's definitely prime for it, and he's got to be the favorite. He's just got to be with what they have.
Well, I mean, he is a favorite, but a favorite with a value of plus 600 on the money line. If he can pull off a strong win total season, get USC to the college football playoffs, be sure to take a look at that bet.
Back to back, like you said, is really rare. So that is going against it. I mean, I agree with that. That's really rare to see that. But he's got the best chance of anybody I've seen in years.
That's what I'm talking about. Moving along to another player here for the Heisman contention. I don't understand how this young man is on the list. He plays in an awful football conference. You got Drake May, quarterback for North Carolina. He's in there at rotation number 907 at plus 1,600. Why are they even putting ACC guys on here? I know you got DJ Uiagalelei, who's the quarterback for Clemson. He's a little bit further down the list at, let me go ahead and see if he's in there. Rotation number 924. He's at plus 9,000. So this is just telling me right now that a lot of these quarterbacks, based on the odds, based on the odds, they're just not giving these guys a lot of chance, if you will. And these are guys that we thought would be stars, but it is a valuable football season. We've seen what Georgia did to TCU last year in the college football national championship game. Talking about TCU, they've got a Heisman contender at quarterback as well in Chandler Morris. Now, he beat out Max Duggan in camp, and he was the Horned Frog starter before an injury. He's coming back this year. Everyone has been saying, look, you got to look at this guy as a true Heisman candidate. TCU was the Cinderella last year in the college football playoff, but just got absolutely obliterated by the Georgia Bulldogs ran all through these guys. So when you talk about it from a betting perspective, let me pull it up here. Chandler Morris, he is a guy who is interesting because, again, we didn't see him last year. He was injured. But when you talk about it from that perspective in the cash playoff, I don't even see him on the line, but they have him in the line over at ESPN. So when you talk about TCU's quarterback, do you think that they're going to have another stellar season, or are they going to go back to the bottom of the Big 12? Go ahead.
No, I think they're going to be right where they were really close to last year. I mean, that's a good football team. I mean, Georgia mollywopped everybody last year, so it's not like they're only one of the few that got beat. I mean, Georgia is just on a different level right now. They're still there. I hate to say it. I mean, being an SC fan, but you're seeing a lack of a stud quarterback right now, for a lack of a word, excuse my term.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, we don't know who the starter is going to be. They're still fighting it out right now in camp. Georgia, who's going to be the starter right now? There's a lot of, Texas almost has a really good chance, I think, of being a quiet favorite because they've been building this class, and these guys are all going to be seniors now this year.
Yeah, let's talk about Texas a little bit. Steve,
got it going on there right now.
USC pedigree. I was just getting ready to say Steve Sarkisian, now the head coach down at Texas. They've got the little brother of the Manning brothers, Arch Manning, looking to possibly be the starting quarterback in his freshman season there. It's a great opportunity to pick up some bets with this guy.
They signed are incredible. They signed over 5 top 100 offensive line recruits. They basically bought the best offensive line in the future coming in. I mean, it's incredible, the guys they got coming in.
I mean, they have to focus on protecting Manning. If Arch is going to get out there, he was a 5-star recruit since pretty much the 7th, 8th grade. If he's going to get out there in his freshman season, they need to make sure that he has that opportunity to be protected. It is a very tough college football season. Now with the playoffs, other schools playing spoiler, over 150 teams playing. So when you talk about it from that perspective, I'm looking Arch Manning rotation number 933. This guy's at plus 7,000 people. That's just because he's a rookie. I mean, if you look at it from the perspective of a freshman coming in, trying to win the Heisman Trophy, we haven't seen it happen, and I don't know how long, but he is at plus 9,000. Moving down the line, talking about Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord. Now, he's another guy taking over for C.J. Stroud. We know who went to the NFL this past season. Talk to me about what you think Ohio State is going to do, and if Kyle McCord can step up and keep these guys relevant over in the Big Ten. Go ahead.
Yeah, he definitely can. He's a good quarterback. Number one, they have to get back to beating Michigan, and it almost to me seems like it's a mindset between those two schools. It's like one dominates the other. You don't see middle ground. It's like they just own the other school.
Mm-hmm.
But the quarterback that's coming in, McCord, he was Marvin Harrison Jr.'s high school teamate.
Right. Okay, good. Like that.
That's a nice little connection there, and that's going to really help their continuation of what they were doing. He's just going to pick right up, go right back to them.
And these guys are right next door to each other on the line. Again, these bets over at betus.com. Rotation number 912. Odds to win the Heisman Trophy this coming football season. You got Kyle McCord at rotation number 913, plus 2,000. His teammate, wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. at plus 2,500 at rotation number 912. He's another man on the list coming in as a possible Heisman contender. I see a lot of quarterbacks, very, very quarterback heavy on the ESPN list. I've looked at the Fox Sports list, CBS list. Marvin Harrison is the one constant on each of these lists. And I'm talking about the wide receiver who is the son of, should be a Hall of Famer, Marvin Harrison, who played over for the Indianapolis Colts. So when you talk about this young man, well, Marvin Harrison had some issues there at the end of his career, but his son, he's the only non-QB to win a Heisman Trophy, was the wide receiver from Alabama, Devontae Smith, who's now tearing it up for our friends over in Philadelphia. Again, shout out my main man, Hard Rock Hamilton, for that. So when you talk about Marvin Harrison Jr., his odds at plus 2,500, rotation number 912, I think that is a very viable opportunity to put cash in your pocket. But again, he doesn't have the ball in his hands primarily, and we know that in college football, the quarterback tends to be the focus, especially here on this list. But if he's able to get open, get the ball thrown to him, and make plays, do you think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a solid bet at plus 2,500? Go ahead.
Absolutely. That's not a bad play right there.
Couple of other players here on the list that I was looking at. You got this kid coming out of LSU, guy named Jaden Daniels. Now, he's in his first system. He transferred from the Pac-12, from Arizona State. So if he's got an opportunity to play at LSU, you know he's got talent. Taking a look at it, there's an opportunity for this young man to get on the line. I'm not sure if he's here, but yes, he has rotation number 908, Jaden Daniels, plus 1,200 for your LSU. Now, we know LSU won the national championship a couple of seasons ago, Joe Burrow, but they've also now got this NCAA investigation problems. So, again, hard to bet on a team that's already got the NCAA up their butt, and the Heisman Trophy Committee are a separate entity but kind of follow these issues. Do you think that if Jaden Daniels has a stellar season, a plus 1,200 bet, again, his rotation number is 908, LSU quarterback, is that going to be a possible value bet for you? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the one game last year, and he basically took them on 3 straight drives down the beach. I can't remember the team. I don't know if it was Alabama or Mississippi. He's a good quarterback. He's really good. He can make the plays. So, yeah, and he's in the SEC, so he's definitely a factor. If he can have a good year, he'll definitely get it. They'll definitely put him on there. Absolutely.
Let's talk about another opportunity here. This is a young man coming in from the HBCUs with his pops over at Colorado. Shout out primetime Deion Sanders, his baby boy Shedeur Sanders, plus 10,000 on the money line, rotation number 944. Now, here's why I think this is an interesting bet. What Deion has been able to do, creating the buzz around the Colorado Buffaloes coming into this season. If these guys go anywhere near the college football playoffs, you got to take a look at Shedeur Sanders. He's on the list at rotation number 944. He was an excellent quarterback at Jackson State. One of the better quarterbacks, I think, coming into this transfer class. You haven't heard a lot from him. You're hearing a lot more from his dad. But the way that they're setting up out in Colorado, I've got a lot of listeners out in Colorado. Shout out to all my fans out in the Mile High State, Mile High City, Mile High County, Denver, Colorado Springs, Aurora, all those areas. They're saying that this guy is the real deal. And even though you see a lot of Instagram and a lot of posts from Coach Sanders, what that team is putting together, he's totally changed that culture, putting together a roster that's going to have some players who are NFL ready, and he's kept them under wraps. I don't even know a lot of the names of the players. He's been shuffling guys in and out, making sure that he gets the right guy at the right position. Again, his son, the quarterback, rotation number 944, Shedeur Sanders at plus 10,000. Think there's any opportunity to make a long dog bet there, put 100 on it, and try to bring yourself back 1,000. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. I mean, I think they're going to have a little tough time this season. I mean, they had 71 transfers. That's a lot of turnover in 1 year. I mean, since last year, it's been 71 transfers in and out. That's a lot.
It really is. I mean, but if you look at the culture,
a really good quarterback. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're definitely building this thing. It's turning around. I mean,
if you looked at the culture in Colorado, you're talking about 71 transfers. They weren't winning anything. Deion said, you guys better start packing your bags if you're not ready to work. JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. When I get back from this short commercial break, more with my main man, Ron. Third Down Best Bets. Going to be talking some college football odds to make the playoffs. Talking about the teams now. Just gave you the picks, early speculation, Heisman Trophy. Again, get over to betus.com. Offer code VSX125. So you keep it locked here with us. I get back from this short commercial break. You know what time it is. It's college football. It's Sunday. And then after that, Scotty, beam him up, Webb, with your Sunday baseball picks. All money, all sports, no bull. Your main man, JB the Ticket. Follow me on Instagram, at JB the Ticket. Follow the show on Twitter, at We Beat the Line. Wake up early in the morning with me every Saturday and Sunday at 6 a.m. Let's get some bread.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard. Giving you that
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled, get Fubo TV.
Locally owned and operated, come on down to Academy of Hair Design located at 5191 West Charleston Boulevard, number 150 today to begin your career in cosmetology. There is something for everyone from cosmetology to nail technology. You will be able to have the hands-on training that is needed to succeed in this career field. Call 702-878-1185 or visit www.ahdvegas.com today.
Fire, more heat. You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JBTHETICKET. Giving you that grit. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Always spitting that explosive fire.
Back at you live, KSHP, AM 1400, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, waking you up early in the morning every Saturday and Sunday, giving you the picks that pay. All money, all sports, no bull. Want to give a shout out to a couple of folks this week. Some big time listeners. Want to give a shout out to my main man Matthew over at the Budget Rent-A-Car on Sahara. Shout out to Budget Rent-A-Car. You guys have been looking out for JB over the past 7 months, these trying times. Thank you so much for putting that together for me. We also want to give a shout out to my main guy, brand new listener, going to be a show contributor this season for football, Naeem the Dream. And also want to give a shout out to our station manager, guy who keeps putting this together for us, making sure that we got rid of all those technical difficulties, my main man Mark Hayes. Thank you so much for putting that together. Also our production manager, Justin Chook, rocking with us here. Got my main man, Ron Third Down Best Bets, back on the line with me. Ron, let's talk a little bit about these college football playoff odds. We got Scotty Beam 'em up Webb waiting in the wings to give folks their Sunday baseball picks. Talk about it. Rotation number 6101, Alabama at plus 135. I think that's a very good value bet if you're talking about it from that perspective. When you say to yourself, if there's any time to make a bet on Alabama early in the season, if they can make the college football playoffs, the cream of the crop in the SEC at plus 135. You think that's a value bet that you can take? I do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. That's a good number. 135. Absolutely.
Also, rolling down Clemson. This is a team that's kind of had its issues over the past couple of years. After Trevor Lawrence took his talents to the NFL, we just have not seen the Clemson Tigers do what they're known to do. But talking about them from the college football perspective, rotation number 6103 plus 325. Do you think the Clemson Tigers coming out of that ACC have got a chance to put some cash in your pocket? Go ahead.
Not really. I just don't. I'm not sold on Clemson right now. They've lost so many coaches over the last few years. I mean, they're constantly replacing him. He hasn't had luck like Nick Saban replacing coaches. I mean, you see it on the field.
Yeah, these guys just seem to be. They seem to be a little bit dry. And I think, again, if you look at Dabo Swinney, some of the comments that he made coming into what eventually became law, the NIL deals, I don't think the guy is motivated to put these guys in the top position. But he is a national championship head coach, and you can never take that away. But I think that this man is going to be the next head coach at the University of Alabama, just waiting in the wings for the retirement of Nick Saban. Another team that can get you some money, and this one is the expensive money line. Rotation number 6107, Georgia Bulldogs. Can they repeat as champions? But most importantly for this bet, can they repeat as participants in the college football playoff at minus 250? You know I don't like those expensive bets, but if you can put a big bet on it, do you think that's another one that can put cash in your pocket? Go ahead.
Well, you got to take them. I mean, who's going to beat them? I don't see anybody that's improved enough to beat them. The only team that's really got a chance is LSU and maybe USC and Ohio State. Other than that, I don't see much that can beat them.
Nobody is running over the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, I'm loving this team. What they've been able to do and put together over the last couple of weeks has been absolutely fantastic. But rounding it out, Scotty, talking about your boys over at USC. Rotation number 6133, plus 275 on the money line. Can they make the college football playoffs? And then I'll let you get out of here again. My main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board today. Can the Trojans get back to the college football playoff this year and put some cash in your pocket? Long dog bet at plus 275. Rotation number 6133. Go ahead.
They can and they should. Lincoln Riley's going to shine this year. They tried last year, didn't have a defense. Got a bunch of good recruits. We're going to see, but they should make it, yeah.
Talking to my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets. Thank you so much. Quick shout out, Ron. Got about 10 seconds. We'll take this short commercial break, and then we'll come back with my main man, Scotty, beam him up, Webb, from the East Coast Sports Investors for these Sunday baseball picks. Go ahead.
Got to say hi to our super fan, Kayla. Good morning. Glad you're listening. See you later today. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Ron, Third Down Best Bets. Follow him on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. Might have to change his Instagram up, though. Looks like somebody hacked him. You guys got to stop with the thieving. When I come back from this short commercial break, Scotty, beam him up, Webb, MLB-daily.com. East Coast Sports Investors. You can follow him right now at Webby20MLB. He's got the picks that are going to put the cash in your pocket for this baseball Sunday. So keep it locked here. KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. VSX Digital Sports Networks for all you businesses out there that want to get in to this upcoming fall sports season and start advertising your business on one of the #1 sports shows in America. And, of course, #1 here in Las Vegas. Your main man, JB the Ticket. Go to my website, VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com. I've got access to get you on iHeart, Spotify, tune in for a fraction of the cost. Go to them direct and see if you want to pay them, but they're not going to give you the grease. They could stick you on something you don't like, but JB the Ticket is going to put you where you want to be and put cash in your pocket. So when I get back from this short commercial break, I'm bringing him on. Scotty, beam him up, Webb. You guys keep it locked and stay tuned. Let's get some money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET, Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
The London Bridge Resort in Lake Havasu is the perfect place to vacation in style. Their beautifully designed suites include stunning views, a kitchenette, and free Wi-Fi. The well-reviewed and affordable resort has tons of amenities, including a breakfast buffet, kids camp, a 9-hole golf course, 3 pools, a marina, boat tours, a water slide, and a great nightlife scene. London Bridge Resort is centrally located in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Go to londonbridgeresort.com to plan your getaway today. London Bridge Resort, your Arizona oasis destination.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Mull's Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Mull's was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmullmeats.com.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network. You're listening to the boss of the big bar.
If you have money, you can buy anything.
JB the Ticket.
Fire, more heat.
Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
Waking you up early in the morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. every Saturday and Sunday. I'm back with you, JP the Ticket. I'm your host and boss of the Big Board, Vegas Scoreboard Express, live on 107.1 FM, AM 1400. Bringing him on the line with me right now. my baseball expert, the walking pack of baseball cards, the former minor league player, and the guy who's got all the stats and put cash in your pocket. Scotty, beam him up, Webb, from the East Coast Sports Investors and MLBDaily.com. Scotty, good morning to you. So glad to have you back this Sunday to put the grease in your pocket. You guys are going to want to stay tuned to him. Follow him over on Twitter and Instagram at Webby20MLB. Good morning.
Good morning, JB. Good to be here. Glad to be back. Got over that cold. I'm ready to roll, brother. Just some baseball going on here.
Yes, baseball. Talking about it last week. We missed the All-Star game, and you had a little bit of a cold. Got to stop letting people sneeze on you, Scotty. Stop sharing that coffee cup. We missed the All-Star game, but talking about the All-Star game, one of the lowest-rated All-Star games on television over the last decade. Didn't even crack a 10 on the Nielsen. Talk to me about some of the things that you saw in that game as far as players, home run derby. Just give us a quick recap because I haven't seen a lot of talked about it in the sports media, but I want to make sure the fans at VSX get your thoughts on what you saw in the All-Star game. Then we'll do some recap of scores yesterday and, of course, jump right into the grease today. But that All-Star game, man, what was going on with that? Go ahead.
Well, I got to be honest. I'm probably not a great guy to pump up baseball when it comes to the All-Star game. I think that nowadays the players don't even want to be there anymore. So it's not like it used to be. You know, the guys they bow out, and then you get a bunch of other guys in there. But I think that it's a pretty competitive game. I mean, when you think about, the players that play and, the game that goes on, it's baseball. So it's still got to, you pitch the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. And it's not like football where they don't want to get hurt. And it's not like basketball where they don't play defense. So it's a competitive game. So in terms of the All-Star game, it's something to watch in terms of something that way. But I don't think that because of interleague play, I don't think there's the big rivalries that used to be. Back 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So the American League hated the National League, and the National League hated the American League, and nobody. You never used to watch them play against each other because they didn't play against each other. There was no interleague play then.
Right.
So I think it was a better scenario to create excitement for the game. And then today, those guys go out there and give each other wet willies and everything else. So there's no big rivalry things going on where there's this big debates about a bunch of stuff. So they're all buddies and they're all pals, and they all figure out they're going to end up all in this different teams with the trades and everything. So it's just for me, it's just okay, we're just going to go get some of the better players together and kind of group them up and see what happens.
Man, terrible assessment of the All-Star game, and it was low scoring, super boring, 3-2. The National League did win it. Talking about it from the playoff perspective, does the All-Star game still give the home field advantage in the playoff race or the World Series, or is that not up for grabs anymore? Go ahead.
No, it does, but I think that was the whole thing about, okay, well, let's try to give it some meaning and some value. That was kind of the idea, but I don't know if that really is a big thing or not anymore. I mean, they play to win, so to speak, but at the same time, it is what it is, and if you sit here and you go, okay, well, betting odds wise and all that, the catcher from Colorado, Elias, he's the guy who won the MVP, hit the home run. Nobody even heard of him before. So, it is what it is, and it's just, it's all part of baseball. But like I said, I'm not a big proponent of the game. And to be honest with you, I think that the home run derby thing, I think it's great, but at the same time that it's great, I think they should do a whole lot of different changes to that thing to make that better. That should be a lot better formatted, and those guys get tired, and I don't want to see somebody up there swinging a bat, getting all tired and huffy puffy and trying to hit home runs. It's just crazy.
Scotty, beam him up, Webb, telling Major League Baseball to get it together. Talking about the picks today with that recap of the All-Star game. Let's jump right into the exciting stuff. Giving you these rotation numbers again. You can listen and follow to Scotty over on Twitter and Instagram at Webby20MLB. check out his website at mlb-daily.com. Rotation number 951, the San Francisco Giants. Very surprising team this year in baseball, doing well at 51-41 on the road today up against those Pittsburgh Pirates, who seem to be on a little bit of a slide the last couple of weeks. At 41-51, Pittsburgh today plus 125. Got Osvaldo Bido on the mound, and Alex Wood is pitching for San Francisco. San Francisco minus 145. Who do you think is going to be able to pull this one out? Because, again, the San Francisco Giants in baseball, always a strong team over the last decade, has had some slip-ups, but this year looks like they're trying to claw back to the playoffs. But go ahead.
Well, Pittsburgh was one of those teams at the beginning there that was a fun story because, they got off to a pretty good start. But in their last 30 games, JB, they've won 8 games. So they're 8-22 in the last 30 games. And I think that they've crashed down to where they really belong, and they kind of really show where they're supposed to be. San Francisco, on the other hand, I think is one of those, they're a little bit better than a 500 kind of team, and they've been playing pretty well. They're just a tough out. Anytime you play them, you got to go beat that team. They're not going to beat themselves, so to speak. They don't have a lot of superstars on that team. In the pitching matchup today, though, I don't really favor it that much. Wood's been around a while. He's kind of a lanky lefty, kind of throws kind of a weird motion. Beto is a guy that San Francisco hasn't seen before. So when it comes to sort of where the value in the play is and so forth, it's hard to sweep teams, and it's hard to get teams to be in those situations where you can go beat them 4 times, 3 times, whatever it is. And I think the pitching matchup here is good enough for Pittsburgh that they hang in this game. And the game starts at 12 o'clock. So it's that special Sunday morning game.
Got to wake up early with us. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's not a good start for San Francisco. That's a team that's on the West Coast. So I think Pittsburgh in the first 5 innings can match up here and hang in there. So I would take Pittsburgh in the first 5 innings. And then see if they can pull it out at the end. But I think Beto is a good matchup for them, especially at the beginning. Take the dog.
Telling you right now, take the Pittsburgh Pirates, rotation number 952. Telling you take them in the first 5. And if you're not scared, take a money line at plus 125. Moving down the line to another team on the line today. I've been very keen on watching this team, Scotty, because you've told me about it. Haven't seen a lot of value spots for these guys. They've been playing lights out. It's an interleague game, though, unfortunately, and that's something that we just talked about with the All-Star game, making this a little bit different. But today we're talking about betting, and that's rotation number 972. They're at home, the Atlanta Braves, bringing out Colby Alliard on the line today. He's going to be pitching left-hander, going up against the Chicago White Sox, rotation number 971. They've got Dylan Cease. White Sox, terrible record, 39-55. Don't know what happened out in Chicago, 18-30 on the road. Going up against those Braves, these guys are poised to make another World Series run. They're 61-30, playing and locked in on all cylinders. Interesting for me in this game, though, is the total at 9.5. Looks like Chicago can put runs on the board. They just can't stop anyone else from putting runs on the board. So they don't have the win total that you would expect. But for a team to get 10 runs, for this team run total, for these two teams with these two pitchers, how do we see it? I was looking at this game as an under because Colby, he's got decent stuff, and they've got some really good infielding in Chicago. Again, if they're not able to get that long ball hit deep, they're going to be in trouble today. So I'm thinking under myself. But go ahead, Scotty. What do you see?
Well, I like your under look there. I think when you talk about the Braves, the first thing you got to understand is that this is just a powerhouse. I mean, they go out and they score runs like crazy. They're 31-16, like you said, at home. The last 30 games they've played, they've won 24 of them. They're 24-6. I mean, they're like the steamroller, this team. Now, what I will tell you, though, is that Dylan Cease, who last year was in the running for it, I don't remember who won the Cy Young last year, but he was one of the best pitchers in the American League, and he's struggled this season. But I will say this. Over his last month, he's pitched the best that he's pitched all season, and I think think that he's going to have a pretty good start today. I think they won yesterday. The White Sox did as a big dog. So I think the White Sox will be competitive. I don't think there's going to be a ton of runs scored here. I think Cease is going to pitch pretty well. I think Allard is one of those guys that, he's not a great pitcher, but, it's like the Braves throw out there all the time. They pitch a bunch of guys that aren't the greatest guys in the world, but they all keep them in the game. So it's going to be difficult to get over that run total. So I like where you're thinking here. Under's pretty good play.
Talking about this play, take it. Rotation numbers 971, 972. Go under that total. You got 9.5. These bets are being brought to you by BetUS.com. Check us out on the website. They're one of our co-hosts and sponsors. VSX 125 is the offer to boost up your initial deposit. Another game in the interleague play. Baltimore Orioles, rotation number 974. This is a very, very, very good team this year, Scotty. They've been keeping up with it, been keeping at it. 56-35 is their record, 28-18 at home. In their last 10, they're 5-3-2 against the spread. And talking about it, on the other side of the ball, a team that once they got rid of Derek Jeter from the front office, magically they returned back to the winner's circle. The Miami Marlins, rotation number 973. Stephen Okert is on the line today. You got a left-hander going up against the right-hander for Baltimore, Cal Bradish, plus 145 on the money line. I think this is a spot where Miami might be able to steal a win. Go ahead.
Well, the Marlins are throwing Okert, and Okert's a relief pitcher, so he's only going to throw one inning. So he's gonna be an opener in this game. And what's going on here is they've got a guy named Perez who's an awesome pitcher for them, and it's been dynamite. But they're trying to control innings on him because he's only 20 years old, hadn't pitched very much. So I think they're going to throw a bullpen game in this game, and I don't know that that's a great strategy here against Bradish. Now, Bradish has been the best pitcher that Baltimore can put out there on a regular basis. And I think that, when you start talking about what they've got going on for them, they won two games against the Yankees, and then they won 3 games against the Minnesota Twins, and then they won 2 games now against the Marlins. So they've won 8 straight games of the Baltimore Orioles. And I don't think that you're going to see Miami's offense with enough firepower to really challenge the Orioles here. So I heard what you said, but I think this isn't necessarily a good spot for Miami. I think it's a better spot for Baltimore. I would be playing on Bradish more so than I would be on Miami today.
Telling you, take that good home value with the home favorite, Baltimore Orioles, rotation number 974, decent at minus 163. When we get back from this short commercial break, more about my main man, Scotty. Beat him up, Webb. East Coast Sports Investors, MLBDaily.com. Going to be having about 10 minutes left, Scotty, breaking it down with you for your Sunday baseball picks. Grab your bankroll. Let's get ready to hit the window and beat the line. Want to give a shout out to another one of my sponsors, folks over at Drizzly.com. Go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Order your beer and alcohol to your house. It's super hot outside all around the country. You can get a cold one brought right to your door. Go to Drizzly.com. Tell them VSX sent you. Use that offer code VSX. So when I get back from this short commercial break, Scotty, I forgot your shout-outs. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, hey, look, the trade deadline's coming up. Pay close attention because there's a lot of teams in baseball right now that have a lot of haves and there's a lot of have-nots, and these teams are going to get a bigger spread difference between the two as you go down the way. So make sure you have a strategy of what you're going to do this late baseball season.
Talking to him, Scotty, beam him up, Webb, always giving you grease, giving you information you can use, telling you to take a look at the Major League Baseball trade deadline. All-Star game is over, so we're working our way to October. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, 107.1 FM, AM 1400 every Saturday and Sunday at 6 a.m. And you can check me out on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and the TuneIn app. When I get back, we're going to round it out for you and put that baseball cash in your pocket. Stay tuned, and let's get some money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. giving you that grace.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Big Dogs Brewing Company, open 24/7, is an award-winning brewery, a full-service catering business, and a fun, smoke-free brew pub restaurant with a full-service bar, including over 35 craft beers on tap, 35 multi-denomination slot machines, the best gaming promotion, and a lively, dog-friendly outdoor patio. Big Dogs Brewing Company, 4543 North Rancho at Gray. Find out more at BigDogsBrews.com.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live. Got my main man, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb. East Coast Sports Investors on the line with you, giving you the baseball picks to put the cash in your pocket this morning. Thank you so much, Scotty, for staying on the line with us. Again, you guys support our sponsors out there at Vegas Scoreboard Express. Also give a shout-out to my producers on the music, Passion Hi-Fi, Freak Van Workham. Appreciate you guys for putting that together for us and helping us keep the show live. So, Scotty, let's jump back into these baseball picks. Again, you can watch all these games over on FuboTV.com/JB, giving you 15% off, free for 7 days. Again, free for 7 days. You guys don't got to pay for it. I'm going to let you win a few bets first, so it's free TV. Jumping into another game today that was very, very shocking for me. I got to talk about them because these two are two teams that I like them. One is my hometown favorite. The other is kind of my adopted favorite. I've always followed this team. I've always liked this team, the players that they've had. Rotation number 957, the LA Dodgers going back east, my hometown, New York City, to play the New York Mets. Rotation number 958. The Mets, this is why I had this game circled. Max Scherzer is finally back on the mound. Hello, he's here. Wow. You know, need his help. Total record for the Mets, 42-50, 20-21 at home. Losing record in their last 10 at 3-6-1 on the over and under. Bobby Miller is going to be on the mound for the Dodgers. Now, these are guys who are scraping out wins. Somehow the Dodgers are just not losing. They're down. They fight back. They take that money line. 53-38, 24-22 on the road. So you can see a lot of games are close, but they did pick up that winning record and won 7 out of their last 10. So talk to me about this. You got a team in the Mets, 6-4 in their last 10, didn't cover that over and under. -115 for the Mets, -105 for the Dodgers. Where do you see the value? Total is 9. Go ahead.
Well, I think the Mets are a team that are deceiving, right? Because I think a lot of people think they're a good team, and in reality, they're a 500 team at the best at this moment. They have a few superstars. You know, Lindor plays for that team, and Nito plays for that team, and Alonso. But the reality of it is that you know, they're not getting enough pitching out of it what they thought they were going to have. And, you know, when you're matching firepower with firepower, you know, you're going to talk about the Dodgers, you know, you start lining up Betts and Freeman and those guys, and all of a sudden, you know, you can see where the shortcomings of the Mets are. So it's not surprising to me that the Mets have struggled. Now, I will say this, that I'm a little bit surprised that the Dodgers have played well enough to stay in the lead in the National League West, because to be honest, you know, they're a team that has like 3 or 4 guys at the top of that order, and then they carry the whole team. Those 3 or 4 guys are just monsters. So it's surprising to me that that's happened. But in this particular matchup, you know, you've got the Dodgers have already won 2, and it's not been real competitive. I mean, they beat them 6-0 and then 5-1. So it's not like they went out there and you know, the Mets have only scored one run in 2 games. So now they're going to face Bobby Miller. Now, Bobby Miller, he started off really hot. You know, he throws 100 miles an hour. He's a kid that can pitch well. but he's been getting hit lately. So I expect the Mets to play a little bit better today, and I expect Scherzer to be a bulldog.
Yes.
So of all games that they're going to play today, I think the Mets can win this one.
There you go. The Mets, rotation number 958. He's telling you, take him on the money line. Scotty, beam him up, Webb. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board today. Again, you guys are always listening to us, breaking it down with us each and every weekend here at KSHP AM 1400, 107.1 FM. We got about 3 minutes left, Scotty. Let's throw in another game here. Your Tampa Bay Rays always got to finish it off with your hometown team as well. They got Zach Eflin on the line today going up against Brady Singer. Rotation number 961, Tampa Bay Rays on the road at Kansas City, one of the worst teams in baseball. Minus 210 on the money line. Kansas City rotation number 962 at plus 180. I think this one's going to be a blowout for Tampa Bay, but looking at their record in the last 10 games, guys have been getting smoked, man. They're 3-7. What's going on with that? Talk to me, Scotty. You got about a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think the Rays are one of those teams that got off to a really good start. They're a really good team, but I think they're going to go through some of that bounce back, come back to earth a little bit type of scenario. In the last 30 games, they're 14-16, so they're about 500. But I will say this: that the pitcher that's throwing for them today, Zach Eflin, he's the best pitcher that they've got right now. He's pitching against Kansas City, who's a very weak offense. And to be honest, the guy who's pitching for them, he gives up a lot of hits. So if I was going to bet this game, I would be taking Tampa Bay on the money line. Give me them minus the 1.5. I think they outlast him, and they kind of just wear him down and wear him out. And Eflin's going to pitch good enough to get runs down on the other side.
Talking to him, Scotty, beam him up, Webb. East Coast Sports Investors, MLBDaily.com. Working on that mojo today for the sports betting picks that are going to put cash in your pocket. Shout out to Muddy Waters, waking you up early in the morning. Going to do a little bit different at the end of this summer. Going to be giving you some music that we listen to here at the studio, VSX Digital Sports Network. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board, Scotty. Any other shout-outs, any particular games you think the fans should take a look at? Got about 30 seconds, and then we'll get out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's some interesting things today. I think that Texas finishes the sweep on Cleveland today, even though it's Perez on the mound. I think you can get good value there. And I think tonight's game with the Houston and the Astros and the Angels, there's something wrong with Christian Javier. Christian Javier hasn't pitched well in the last month. So I think something is wrong with him. So it wouldn't be surprising to see the Angels win or this game go over 9.5.
That's what I'm talking about, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb, East Coast Sports Investors. I keep running it back. I like when that piano and that guitar gets on the drop down. You guys follow the show on Twitter at We Beat the Line. Follow me on Instagram at JBTHETICKET. Go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. And for all you businesses out there looking to get into sports betting, advertisement, and sports in general, to get on all the major podcasts, interviews, Spotify, got you where you want to be. Go to VSXDigitalSportsNetwork.com. So thank you so much, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb, for stopping by the big board. I'm getting ready to sign off, guys. You guys know what time it is. Time to grab your bankroll, hit the window, and beat the line. JB the Ticket. It's Sunday baseball. Let's get some money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
I want to love you so bad.
JB the Ticket.
The world-famous radio shopping show, weekday on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.